Springs, California. So the NBA got it right. First, they continue to do it right. You've got to go out in the streets. It's almost like the old barnstorming days of baseball. It's almost what it is. Still drumming up business, still drumming up fans, still showing that we appreciate even the little guy, if you will.
And we encourage everybody to go out and purchase League Pass. I mean, if you're an NBA fan and you don't have League Pass, it's hard to really call yourself an NBA fan. And I know I sound like a shill right now, but how are you?
You're going to give me a gig with that, right?
No, but check it out. I mean, if you just watch the national coverage, you're getting a lot of good stuff, but you're not checking out Hastings and Marlowe.
That's right, baby.
Unless you have League Pass. So I encourage everybody to go out there and scoop that up. Now let's talk about some of the guys trying to make this team. And I want we talked about Juwan Howard being a veteran guy who has a past here with the Denver Nuggets. What about Ruben Patterson? Yeah, Ruben Patterson lives. He is back here in training camp. You've actually seen him making plays out here. And the guy is hopefully going to enter his 11th season in the league and hopefully going to enter his second year with the Denver Nuggets. He was with them back in 05-06, had a falling out with George Karl. Did not like how he was being played late in the season and in the playoffs, and George told him to take a hike. And now Ruben's back, and I think he's still got some games, Scott.
Kobe Stopper. When was up in Portland, he's had an interesting career. And sometimes guys get sidetracked sideways, say things they regret, do things they want to regret. I think he and George have both buried the hatchet. They've gone their own way. When this guy's on, this guy's a good player. I mean, this guy will get after you. He'll play defensively. It's an uphill battle. Hey, anytime you're a guy in the league at years 10 through, or let's be honest, for me it was 2 through 11. But any time you're past that 7 or 8 year range, you're always going to fight for a job. You're fighting for respect. You're fighting for a name you once had. You're still trying to play in this league. Ruben still has ability. Ruben will be on somebody's roster, but just like we heard Rex say a while ago, after a while, it's time to grow up. It's time to say, you know what, I was a child. I did childish things. I did selfish things. I did whatever. You know, this is a pretty good lifestyle. Even what you and I do, and listen, you and I are picking up the crumbs as far as it goes financially with the NBA. But it's a pretty good lifestyle. It's a fun lifestyle, and I think guys realize that. When they realize it not too late, they end up having long careers.
Well, the players have won the lottery, both monetarily and occupationally. We in one of those regards, and I'll let everybody at home figure that out. Now, I've got a quote from Ruben Patterson.
You're driving a Mercedes, but go ahead.
Whatever.
Okay.
I don't know who you saw me driving in with this morning, but
our producer. That's where all the money goes.
Exactly. But Ruben Patterson really manned up to that situation, with George Karl, the falling out. And this was his quote just a couple of weeks ago or so. He said, "I'm going to keep my mouth shut. Come into camp and bust my everything will be good." In other words, he admitted right there that he was talking too much and caring too much about Ruben, and that's not the case with him anymore.
Well, and there was times when Ruben thought he had to be a scorer. Now, he has the ability to blow up and score 20, 25 points, 30 points on a certain night. But think about what we've talked about for the last hour and a half, 2 hours, and what this team is trying to change its MO. A point of attack, getting to the rim, playing quicker, defending. They've got scores. They've got Carmelo. They've got AI, and they've got JR, and they've got Klaiser. 2 different 1-2 punches starting off the bench if you want. Now you need role guys. You need Balkman. Defend, run the lane. We've been watching this practice now for the last 15, 20 minutes, and it's transition stuff. Half court getting the offense, and then bust out and run. It's defense. Ruben will make this team, not because he's a scorer, because he'll stop people, he'll defend people, and he'll get up and down the floor and run.
Another guy trying to make this team, and he's known more for the offensive end than the defensive end, is second-year player Nick Fazekas. Played his college ball at Nevada, Reno, and he is a Colorado native. And he's trying to become the first Nugget from the Denver area to make this team since Chauncey Billups did back in 2000. Fazekas from Ralston Valley High School, and there's a lot of bigs in front of him on the depth chart, but I've been hearing good things in terms of the coach's praise of Fazekas so far.
Well, he's a smart player. He knows the game. He understands the game. He's limited with physical ability on certain levels. He has tools also that the team needs in certain areas, and the fact that he can shoot the basketball. He's a good face-up, 16, 17-foot jump shooter, solid around the block. But once again, he's a guy that makes teams. And it's tough to tell some young guys, listen, you want to make this team, then you need to bust every big guy that comes in the lane. You need to get every single rebound in your area and maybe one area away from. to play physical and tough all the time, and on top of that, be a smart player. Some guys will say, well, wait a minute, I averaged 20 in college. Why can't I do that again? Because it's in college. They call this the NBA, which stands for, in Greece, Nona Bodo something else, which is it's not college.
Nick Vizika's a guy trying to make this team, and I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up my buddy Mateen Cleaves. Won a national championship with Michigan State way back when. Got to know Mateen, as I called it, on the D-League trail back, and he was with the Huntsville Flight. And he is just an outstanding individual, a hard worker, and I saw him out here guarding AI and giving AI everything he wanted.
Well, and exactly what you want. You want guys that are either in practice, in training camp, if they make the team during the week in practice, that can push your guys. You're always see everybody gives the glory to the starters, and well deserved. They get the money and the glory and the girls. That's a start. And then the bench. What the bench does, it makes the starters better. No one gives them credit. Mateen Cleaves will probably never be a star player in this league. You see, 31 years of age now at Michigan State. Probably never going to be a star in this league. But to coaches, he can be a star on their team because he makes guys around them better, pushing them, not letting them slack off. That's one of the reasons Mateen is in this camp.
Rapid.
We're going to go a little more, but it's probably we're not going to pressure.
Get back! I got the ball right there. Hey, pushing it down. Oh, cool.
And you saw a nifty little dribble move right there by Carmelo Anthony, plopping down the mid-range J, just like he does for 82 games a year. Love the offensive game of Carmelo Anthony, and I love the big basketball brain on the dude to my right, Scott Hastings, Rick Hamlow alongside of him. And we have not talked about the only draft pick that the Denver Nuggets had this year, second-round pick, Sonny Weems. He's an athletic guy. He's just getting back from an injury, but he's a part of the plans as well.
Well, I tell you, he's a very athletic game. Won the college dunk contest in the postseason, I believe, at the Final Four. Was a phenomenal player. But he had the sports hernia, had an operation. They actually traded in the draft. And I think what we're actually looking at is James Mays, who was a free agent pickup kid out of Clemson, who they also really like. I think Mays and Sonny Weems will be the two guys that are going to be special for him. But it's going to be a future. It's going to be a while. Weems still coming back from that sports hernia operation. We just talked to Rex a while ago during the break, and he said, listen, that guy's going to be in the should be healthy, should be ready to go in the next couple of days.
And Mays, you know, I think I read on Hoops Hype that he had an offer from overseas, and I think he's trying to stick it out right here, try to make the Nuggets, and then if it doesn't work out here, then maybe he'll bounce over there.
Anybody, so guys like that can do that, and sometimes NBA teams don't mind. Go overseas, get playing time, and we've seen the playing and the competition of overseas players. I mean, it used to be a joke. You retired, you're 40, you're 38, you go over there and play, make some extra do-re-mi, and then
McAdoo, Dominique, stuff like that.
And you just did that, you dominated the league. Now you've got great players. These guys are signing major contracts over there. So you get a guy like Mays, if he wanted to go over there, nothing wrong with that. Go over there, get a year being a starter. Get a year in there getting 40 minutes a game. Is that better than the D-League? It might be right now, but you don't have the availability if someone goes down. If you're in the D-League, and all of a sudden Denver calls and say, hey, we need you, by the way, to bus up. It's just up in Broomfield, 35-minute drive away. We want you down here right now because you're going to be suiting up with the big team. But so there's things that go. Sometimes young players are better served to play and play against great competition and then come back to the league in a year or so.
And the D-League certainly a phenomenal option as well, keeps you close, and the coaches of the D-League are fantastic at grooming these players for an NBA career down the line. We're taking another break. We're coming back to preview the West and see how the Denver Nuggets stack up in the loaded Western Conference of our beloved NBA.